Welcome to our July webinar. Thank you for coming along to this. This month, we're focusing on AI-powered social media campaigns and different ways that you can use AI to design them. And I have to say, AI and social media are two of my favorite topics. I hope you enjoy what I've got planned. I've got some interesting techniques that you might be able to use to help you with your social media campaigns. I always like to begin with a quote, just to give some context of what's going on. And really, we know it now, AI is just changing the game. This quote is from a guy called Miguel Rebello, and he writes for Zapier. Zapier is an amazing automation tool where you can bring together different platforms. So it uses AI to bring together different tools to automate different sort of processes, and it can help with social media as well. It does a lot of different things and can bring together a lot of different types of tools. But Miguel is saying in this quote that AI, it can help you with your strategy, it can help you understand the sentiment of what people are saying about you, it can analyze big data. And the thing is, with this analysis of big data, it means that you can make better decisions because it can analyze huge amounts of data that you cannot and sum it up for you and give you some really actionable takeaways that you can use. And that's what we're going to do in this session. I've got one technique based on that, but we're going to look at three ways that we can actually use AI to improve your social media campaigns. But I want to ask first, what is some of the biggest challenges that you face when it comes to actually developing and implementing campaigns? I know from some of the business owners that I talk to, a lot of the time they don't know where to start. They get really stuck with what they need to do, or they're really enthusiastic. They want to do stuff, but they're just too scared to actually do it. They don't have the confidence to actually implement it. So there's lots of different things that you can use to overcome that. And if you want to answer that question, please feel free to put it in the chat. Now, I asked this question to you, I pose it to you. What if embracing AI could not only fast track the campaign development process, it can just unblock those feelings of unconfidence and being unsure of what to do. And by doing that, can also increase its accuracy, because the more that you know about your audience and how to use the platforms, the more accurate your campaigns are going to actually be. And it's really important to know that and know how to use it. In this session, we're going to focus on three different ways you can do that. I also like to provide some statistics in each of my webinars, just to also give you some context to really set the scene of what is happening, particularly in the marketing space around the use of AI. There are a lot of industry studies happening right now about how people are adopting it, how they're using it, particularly in a marketing context. So this particular study by Sprout Social surveyed 750 people working in marketing and who were leaders of businesses. And you can see like astronomical 97% of those 750 business leaders believe that AI actually helps them really optimize social media data, and these insights are helping them to perform much more effectively. And that's the thing. What I also get from business owners is sometimes they feel it's very hit or miss when it comes to social media. They're unsure if they're doing it correctly, or they try things and they just don't seem to work. But then another day, something they do just takes off. By using AI, you'll be able to actually understand what is going on there and actually come up with some actionable ways to do it again. The other study was by Salesforce, and that's a very well-used CRM. And their study was of 1,029 people, and they found that 70% of those marketers use AI mainly to create sort of basic content or write copy for their marketing channels. And I have to say, the research I've been doing for my AI book, where I surveyed 400, it's not 1,000, but 400, it's very much the case. People are using it quite a lot to help them write copy, which we are going to have a look at as part of this webinar too. So let's move now to the very first technique that we'll cover in this session. This technique is around just creating optimized campaigns. What I'm going to do is actually show you first, to set some context around this, what do I actually mean when I say AI optimized campaigns? It's about analyzing your audience. Audience research is the most important part of any communication and marketing, because if you don't know who you're trying to connect with or who you're trying to get to trust you so that they will purchase from you or do whatever desired behavior you're aiming for, then you will not be successful. And so using AI to help analyze audience behavior will get you very close to what you need to know to connect with them better. It allows you to personalize content at scale. And so this can be anything from, personalizing emails, which I know isn't social media, but you can actually do things now like personalizing videos quite easily on a large scale. There's all different ways that AI is being used to do this. One thing that a lot of, from my research, social media management platforms are doing, I know they do it a little bit on Facebook and Instagram. They say when the audience is online, telling you when is the best posting times, but there are some actual tools, management tools, that will tell you, like Hootsuite does it, I think Later does it, those sorts of tools that help you to schedule, and your content will actually optimize it for the time. Another thing it can do is suggest relevant hashtags and keywords. There are AI-driven tools out there that will show you what people are searching for and what they're actually using. We're going to have a little experiment with that today as well in one of the later techniques that I show you. And again, it's just that focus on continuous improvement by using the data to see what worked and what didn't, and what your audiences are responding to in a positive way, also a negative way, which also tells you what not to do. Just keep refining what you're doing to really hit that mark. And why? It's a no-brainer. You want to increase engagement on your social channels because organically, that is what's going to get more people to see your content. That increases reach. So getting people to respond and touch that content is the key in increasing the reach of that content without having to pay for it. It also helps you to target that audience so much better, because you can't just try and use the same content to connect with everybody. There are different segments within the people you're trying to connect with, and you need to really identify that through the content that you're creating. It can help you save time and resources as well, of course, and more importantly, it helps to improve your return on investment and what you're doing, because it's return on investment, and actually measuring that can be quite difficult on social media because it takes such a long time, unless you're doing a particular, say, ad campaign where someone's buying something or you're wanting them to respond in a particular way. You're able to measure that. But if you're looking at the longer term aspect of it, it can be quite hard to track. But with AI, it can help you to do that better. And even more importantly, it helps you to stay ahead of what trends are happening, because social media moves quickly, and one day people are talking about something and then another day they're talking about something else, and you have to show that you can actually keep up with the conversation happening online. And by doing that, it helps to put you ahead of your competition too. We're going to do a little demonstration now. Let's actually write a prompt. We'll use ChatGPT for this one. I like to use all different tools, but we will use ChatGPT for this. So this is the prompt. We're going to use it to actually draft a campaign strategy. So you can see the prompt here. It says, create a comprehensive social media campaign strategy for a small business that sells. And of course, you can customize this to your own needs. Whatever products, the goal is to, and then they put the goal in, of course. The target audience includes, the strategy should include target audience analysis, key messaging, content ideas, and put the platforms in because they'll be specific to your organization. A posting schedule, engagement tactics, and metrics to measure success. Like that is a very big prompt with a lot of stuff included, but let's have a look and see what actually happens there. So I'll just copy this in. and we'll customize it. We'll do this, of course, hypothetically. What I might do is actually I might do it for, because every year, and I'll just use the free version. I do pay for the subscribe one, but we'll just use the free one just to be more accessible. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do it for the Sunrise Beach calendar that I do every year. I'll just share this tab so you can see what I'm doing. What I've done is I've copied over that prompt in here, create a comprehensive social media strategy for that sells. I'm going to say beach sunrise calendars on Etsy. I might as well be specific. The goal is to I'm going to say encourage previous customers to buy again and prospective customers to buy for the first time. So that's 2 goals, I know. The target audience includes, it's very mixed. I will just say women in their 40s. I'm just pulling this out of the sky right now. The strategy should include social media platforms. So I will say Instagram, Facebook, and I'll say TikTok because I'm a big TikTok fan. Let's pop that in and see what comes back. But it's just thinking now, going through. Let's have a look. What did it come back with? Target analysis. Women in their 40s who appreciate nature, travel, and aesthetic home decor. Yeah. Psychographic value gives you a little bit of a background. Increasingly on TikTok. Likely to engage visually appearing content. Key messaging is good. I'd write mine a bit different to that, but it gives you a sense. And then content ideas. So it's a good way to start off with each platform. So reviews, and there's different ideas for each platform as well, which is interesting. And then the posting schedule, engagement tactics, and then how to measure, which is really good. What I also recommend doing is not just taking that on face value, but then asking more about it. Just go back to this tab. What I recommend is ask follow-up questions like, how can this content be adapted for each platform? How can user-generated content be included? How can we incorporate an offline event into this? And then create a content calendar. What I might do is just pop those in as well, just to see what it does. Just copying that and going now across ChatGPT. What I also wanted to know is what is the call to action in the key messaging? Ask these follow-up questions just to see what it comes back with. Okay, so it's responded pretty quickly. Adapting for each platform, but it gives you tips then on what you need to do on each platform and the call to action as well. And then an offline event, which is a good idea, like going to a local market. and then the content calendar. That's the first one. So it's just there to give you something to start with. If you get stuck, it can help you understand that, and you can go more deeply into it. So you can say, okay, write me the TikTok post for 1 week, and then go more deeply into each of these things. But as a top level type of strategy document, it's very helpful to get you started. Let's move back to the presentation. And so the next step would be to sort of copy and paste it into a Word document. And you really need to then edit it and just refine it according to your own brand and your own needs, because it won't be perfect. And the last thing you should do is just give and use whatever it gives you. It's just there to give you that framework. But then you can use tools like Canva to help to develop the visual content, and then Claude or ChatGPT to write the copy for the captions, which we will be experimenting with a little bit later. Let's move on to the next technique now. Real-time monitoring and adjustments, just to keep your campaigns relevant and also to keep your content relevant. And what I mean by that is it's just this continuous tracking of seeing what people are responding to, both positively and negatively, on your content, understanding what they're saying about you in terms of their conversation, and whether it's positive or negative. That's just the start of it, or neutral, which is they don't have any sort of feeling about it at all. But understanding the language that they're using, the types of keywords, those sorts of things, and what the topics of conversation are actually about. Another great way you can use AI is to jump onto trending topics and hashtags. Just then you can be part of that current conversation. You can also check out and see what your competitors are doing. And you can receive power alerts as well for sudden changes. So things like Google Alerts is really good, because it can tell you when what people are saying about your brand, but also it can, and your competitors, if you set it up like that, or particular topics, and you can get emails about them as they're being said. Like that's how fast it can actually happen. And why? Because it's important to look like you actually know what's going on in your space and in your industry, because that's where you look like a leader and you build credibility, because you are actually responding to what is happening right there in real time, rather than jumping on it or missing it completely. And you can always have the content that you've scheduled, of course, that you have planned ahead for, but there are going to be things that pop up that you actually really need to jump on straight away, particularly if you're talking about like an issue or a crisis that's relating to your organization. That's something that you need to know is happening, so you can jump on it straight away and address it. It allows you to optimize your content as well, so that it responds to what's happening in real time. There's been issues where, for example, a classic issue happened with Tesco many years ago. I'm not sure if you remember this, but there was some story, I don't know if it was true, but they found horse meat in some of their hamburger patties that they were selling at Tesco. And so it was a big news story, but their social media team had already scheduled content. And one of the posts was on Twitter, which was still called Twitter then. And they were just saying that they were signing off for the day, but instead of saying that, they said, now it's time to hit the hay. And you can imagine when there's this huge issue going on about them finding horse meat in the burger patties, and then they're talking about hay in their tweets. You could imagine what happened then. It allows you to understand issues that are happening and then tweak your current content so you don't make it worse. That's one example anyway. And as I said before, it helps to keep your brand current. You can always have your evergreen content or the content that you've planned ahead for, but you need to jump on things when they're happening, because that's where you build trust, and you're seen as someone who actually people can turn to as a source, and a valuable source of what's going on. And how can you do this? There's many ways. There's many ways, but this is one way that you can do it, and it's using Google Trends. So Google Trends, if you don't know, you can actually see what people are searching for on Google in real time. and see what the most common keywords people are using and the topics they're posting about. And then you can actually grab some information. You can actually click through to articles that you could either read and then post about, or you could use that as curated content as well. So we're going to have a look at that, and then we're going to use, first of all, we're going to Google Trends to find a topic that people are posting about. Then we're going to go to Canva first and use their Magic Media text to image tool to create a visual to use on social media. And then after that, we're going to go to ChatGPT and we're going to create a post based on that particular topic. Let's go now to Google Trends. In Google Trends, it's just trends.google.com/trends. And then in Google Trends, you can click on trending now. And so these are daily search trends. You can pick your country, of course. I recommend, we'll stay in Australia for this one, but I recommend going to real-time search trends and just seeing, and really trying to see if there's something there that relates to your business or your organization that you can jump on. Sometimes you won't find something every day, but it's good to do this once a day just to see what's happening. And you've got all these your categories here as well. I might actually look for, let's do something in health. Okay, look at this one. Exercise, brain, physical activity. We'll see what it brings up. Get moving for your mental health. Let's use this one. This might be easier to do on Canva and ChatGPT. So this article was from the Canberra Daily about some research in terms of how exercise affects your mental health. What we might do is pick a quote from this and we'll go over to Canva and create the image for it. So let's do this one. Research has shown that people who exercise regularly are happier in themselves, socialize more, are less anxious. Let's do this. We'll just do this sentence. Okay, so let's go over now to Canva. Now, with Canva's tools, AI tools, what you can do, it's down the side here. And this is the paid version though. So I use Canva a lot, so that's why I pay for it. And then you can do text to image, text to graphic, or text to video. So the video takes a little while. It's still improving, but let's do graphics, text to graphics, and then you can choose what sort of style that you want. I will just let it inspire me. So I'm just going to put this line in now and see what it comes back with. We'll see. It takes a little while. I think with the AI, I think what's going to happen is these processes are going to become much faster. We'll just put in a prompt and the image or the video will just be like bang and it will be ready. It's still thinking. Here we go. It's given a few, like that's a cute one. I'm just bringing that over. That's what it looks like that way. Or if we do an image, let's see what it comes up with, an image. You get more options. Let's do filmic. Oh no, let's do photo and then see what comes back with. Yeah, so it just takes a few moments to do that. And then what we'll do is I'll show you another prompt. We'll go over to ChatGPT and we'll get it to create the text. Here we go. Here's some images coming up with. And what the point I'm trying to make here is it means that you can jump on a trending topic and take some lines from that, come over and then use that to create an image or your own image. It's funny how they're all women in there. But yeah, all right, let's use this image. There's happy people having fun there. Then let's go back now to the slides. And so what we're going to do is use this particular prompt, which is a current trending topic is, and then I'll put in that bit, draft a social media platform caption. I'll draft I'll say Instagram platform caption for my type of business that will connect with your target audience and begin with a strong hook and end with call to action, etc. So let me get this prompt. And we'll go over to chat GPT. We'll start again. The current trending topic is, and what I'm going to do is just take that line from that I copied previously and bring that over. Draft a Instagram for my, I don't know, let's say, we'll say a juice business that will connect to women in their 40s. I'm just saying that because of the photo. Like there's more people than women in their 40s, I know. Please begin with a strong hook and end with a call to action. Okay. And yeah, and again, you would copy that out and you would tweak it to suit you. And you would even possibly not on Instagram, but maybe on another platform, if it was Facebook, put a link to that article as well. So yeah, that was just a way that you can use social media to jump on a trending topic that's relevant to your business, of course, and then use AI to come up with an image and a caption. The next steps, as I said, it would be to copy the caption into the actual platform, but you need to edit it. You really need to edit it and to make sure that it fits your voice and everything and your brand, and then upload it. And the thing is, you'll get better with the prompts and with the images, you'll start to know what you like and include the colors and things like that. The more detail you can include, the better. All right, let's move on to the last one now. So using AI metrics to measure and understand your campaign's performance. So what I mean by that is actually really understanding what I've said before, what your audience is engaging with. Just those deep engagement insights are going to help you to do so much better on your social media. AI can help you to also predict what's going to work and what's not going to work. And then you'll have more of an idea of that so you can get a larger return on investment. AI can help you to get that more precise forecasting. It's all about really like the more accurate you're going to become and the less time it's going to take you to do these sorts of things, and the stronger the relationships you're going to form with your preferred customer. And it can do it quickly and it can do it on its own to a degree. There's different ways that you can do this, and you can, and on a basic level, you can use your Meta Business Suite insights, particularly for Facebook and Instagram. And we've looked through this before, but I will in a previous webinar, but I want to show you this again. You've got here all of these different insights here around what's working and what's not working. So you've got your overview, you've got your results here in terms of your reach, Facebook and Instagram, benchmarking, which is a really great feature, where it means that it shows you how you're performing against other businesses like yours, but you can add in different companies and organizations to see how you're performing against them in terms of your following and how many times you're posting, which is great. And you can do it for both Facebook and Instagram, which is really helpful. And it can also show you more about your audience. If we go back up to audience, it shows you really what your numbers are, the gender split, where they are, and top countries, etc., which is helpful. And even with your messaging via Facebook and Instagram, it can give you a good idea about how well you're actually performing in that area too. And best days to post, which is generally, I find it like you get more of that in the Instagram app. Now, in terms of content, what it can show you is the best posts that you've posted according to their reach, which is really good because and then you can analyze it. What is it about these posts that are really engaging with people? And then you can actually try and use those insights to do it again. And then one of the other things that I wanted to show you is up the top here with your content, you can download it. You can download the performance of your content. I tend to do it from here, where it gives you the list of all of your content. And across the top here, so it shows you for both Facebook and Instagram. It shows you when it was published, where it went, if it's a video, how many minute views, impressions, reaches, reaction, all these analytics that can help you. But if you're trying to scroll through that to make any sense of it, it's just really painful and it will take forever. But what you can do is actually download it into a spreadsheet. I'm not going to create this spreadsheet now because it takes a little while, and do the time frame that you want. And then with that, you can actually upload it into one of the tools that you can actually upload files into. It can do it in ChatGPT 4 and up, Perplexity or Claude. And what I'm going to do is do it for, I think I'll pop it in Perplexity this time just to see what's happening. So let me just grab this prompt. And you can see here with this prompt, it says, analyze the data from this spreadsheet from my Facebook and Instagram posts from the time frame. Please identify the characteristics of my best performing and least performing posts. So if we go over to Perplexity, Perplexity is a free tool to a degree. So you get, I think it's 5 free uses every 4 hours. Let's attach the file I created earlier. Quick access, there it is. Webinar. So it's uploading. And so I think that particular one was for 28 days. So let's have a look from, I'll just say the last 28 days. Please identify the characteristics. So you can see here, there is the file. There is my prompt. And let's see what happens. It takes a little minute. Sometimes it asks you questions to drill down further. What I love about Perplexity is that it is a great place to find sources if you're looking for sources around a particular topic, because it provides those. ChatGPT does that now, but I find I get better sources from Perplexity. I think it's a really great tool. I use it a lot. Still thinking. but it's analyzing the data, and then it's actually going to give me a really good rundown on what's working and what's not working. Compare this with trying to go through all those analytics and make sense of it yourself. So here we go. The best performing post for me was a Facebook reel. And then it actually gives me the characteristics of what it was. So it was short, it was for Facebook, it was emotional and visually appealing, and then the use of hashtags was good. The least performing post was the networking event I did with my students. I don't think it got any reactions whatsoever. Interesting. And then it was a photo, long and detailed description, use of hashtags, just saying those hashtags didn't work very well. Summary. It just gives me an idea of, in that particular time frame, that group of content, what works the best and what works the least. That just gives me something to go on. It just analyzes it and it's very succinct and brings it back to that. Then it's also good to ask some follow-up questions. Based on your analysis, what advice would you give me on how to increase follower numbers? What I'll do is I'll also copy that in, because just focusing on that particular question, you might as well get it to answer some more because it's already done the analysis. Let's just ask this one final question. But just thinking again. And it's been so helpful in breaking things down. Here are the hot tips. So focus on short form video content, optimize for emotional appeal, use hashtags, post consistently. These sorts of things, just a checklist of things that I can do. Which is super, super helpful. All right. Then using that advice, it's really important to then integrate that into what you're doing and to keep doing that. And even doing an analysis like that every month just to see what's working and what's not working will just help to keep you improving. In conclusion, using free AI tools can really help you to overcome that feeling of feeling stuck and not knowing what to do. It can help you to brainstorm and help you to craft a campaign or the beginnings of a campaign that you can then tweak to your needs. Google Alerts is a great tool, and Google Trends are both great tools to keep you on top of what the conversation is online and what's going on. And then you can really make the most of that and jump into that conversation and look really current. And of course, social media analytics, there is so much you can do with those to just keep your performance improving all the time. And you don't have to do all the grunt and analytical work yourself now. You can actually use AI to help you with that. So that's it for this month. So if you need any help using these methods, please feel free to book in a complimentary session with me where I can guide you on if there's things you want to learn or resources or anything like that. Feel free. You're most welcome to book a session with me. You can either go through that link will go to my Calendly scheduling page, or you can just email me. That's fine, and we can organize another time. There's that. And then if your team needs any training, I'm finding this is becoming very popular. Rather than me running workshops and people coming to the workshop, they're asking me to actually go out on site and train their team. And that's another way that we can do it. Or I can train your team online as well. That way, I think people would prefer having that sort of customized training for their team rather than more generic stuff in a workshop, which is perfectly fine. And then next week, we're going to look at targeted AI advertising. So that'll happen on the 13th of August around 4:30 in the afternoon. Thank you so much for watching. I will conclude now. I really appreciate you staying till the end, and I will see you next month.